From controlled substance to potential therapeutic, exploring the medical possibilities of magic mushrooms. But first, growing concerns about Houthi strikes in the Red Sea. A potent regional force threatening a global trade route and the key role played by Iran.
Fucking absurd ass world.
The Houthi movement is decades old, but this recent
Before
series
we
of
talk about
attacks has
magic
brought them
mushrooms,
to
let's talk
wider
about the
prominence.
Houthis
Paul
first.
Hunter breaks down who they are and what they want.
Who they are and what they want. They want Palestine to be free.
A point-of-view aerial attack on a cargo ship in the Red Sea in November. One of more than 24 assaults on ships in that part of the world that have threatened the global economy. And by the way, this one, in the eyes of who did the attacking, hugely successful.
Millions around the world have by now seen these images. It's a safe bet that countless among those who clicked on them are still wondering, what is going on here? And by the way, who are these militants? The Houthis from Yemen, as they're known, or as the US now labels them, specially designated global terrorists who've somehow managed to turn the world's shipping industry on its ear.
It's pulling everyone in.
Toronto's Samantha Nutt, founder of War Child Canada, with years of experience in Yemen and other war-torn countries, underlines the direct impact of these Houthi attacks.
And the Red Sea is an incredibly important corridor for the entire world. It is responsible for roughly 30% of all shipping container traffic, about 13% of all global shipping traffic that goes through there. And the Houthis know this as well. It's about the disruption as much as it is about the military aims.
Before we dive deeper, a quick recap. The Houthis have been around for a while, and we'll get to that in a second. But the reason we're talking about them right now goes back to October 7th and those attacks against Israel by Hamas.
Oh my god, shut the fuck
Hamas
up.
is labeled a terror group by the UN.
I'm pretty sure it goes back to
US,
1948
Canada,
and
others,
Israel's
it's
occupation of
sworn to
Palestine.
destroy Israel.
Pretty sure
Part of a
that's
kind
what
of
it's
network of
about.
Groups and countries who've long opposed even the existence of Israel.
I wonder why that is. Maybe it's because they're
Houthis
committing
seem more
genocide.
passive about it, but indeed embedded in the Houthi slogan, often waved high at Houthi rallies, "Death to Israel," it says, and "Death to the USA."
Yes,
Israel's
neither of those say
staunch
death to
ally.
Jews. Death to Israel as a state
Don't forget,
is a very
Hezbollah
valid
in
point for them to be
Lebanon,
making
another
after their people have been
anti-Israel
genocided at the hands of
After those
the
Hamas
Zionists.
attacks, Hezbollah militants began firing at targets in northern Israel. Connecting Hamas, Hezbollah, and Houthis, Iran. It provides money and training to all of them. And Iran is,
You know what
without a
also
doubt,
connects them
the
all together
driving
is their
force among all
support
of
for
those
the
seeking
existence
Israel's
of Palestine on its own territory.
So let's have a quick look at a map. Here's Iran, which used to be allied with Israel, but ever since its Islamic revolution in 1979 has virulently opposed it, believing Israel belongs to the Palestinians. On side with
What was
Iran,
Iran before that?
varying
I'm pretty
degrees,
sure it was an
Syria,
illegal
Hamas,
occupation that was
Hezbollah,
with a
the smaller groups inside
client
Iraq,
operator
and
who was
there's
operating
Israel,
a
all
monarch.
but surrounded. And there, tucked away down the bottom, sits Yemen, home of those Houthis. Yemen is one of the poorest countries on the planet, in a seemingly perpetual humanitarian crisis.
Whose fault is that? I
Poverty
wonder
rate
who
is among the
created that
highest in the
situation.
world.
I wonder why
Millions
Yemen is
are
one of the
displaced
poorest
by
places on
war
earth.
and on the brink of famine.
I wonder if that just
20
happened
years
in a
ago,
vacuum.
Frustration in Yemen had grown over a government many saw as corrupt and repressive. It was a place ripe for an uprising. And indeed, Shia Muslim rebels pushed back against the Yemeni government in a revolt led by
Yeah,
a
exactly.
man
It was
named
not the same place in
Hussein
any way,
al
shape, or form.
Houthi.
It was like Israel.
The namesake of the movement that's now
And you know what
targeting all
happened?
those
Their
ships
people
in the Red
revolted
Sea.
and kicked them the
Hussein
fuck out.
al-Houthi was
So of course they
killed
want to
in
come back
2004.
and help out the Palestinians.
His brother, Abdul Malik al-Houthi, has led the group ever since. In a civil war that continues to this day, the Houthis now control big chunks of the country, including the capital. Technically speaking, they don't run the place, but they do print their own money. They even collect taxes. Even so, they've
So
often
I'm
been
pretty sure the
described
people
as
are
ragtag.
allowing them to be
So
in
it's
power if they
crucial to
collect
never forget
taxes.
who backs them.
The fact that
They haven't showed
Iran
once
has
the
supported them
millions of
militarily,
people in
helped
the
to
streets
train
that
them, to
show up to
finance
these
them,
pro-Palestine
that is what has
rallies.
given them a degree of power and influence both locally, nationally, as well as we have
Yes,
seen right
yes,
now,
exactly.
regionally.
This
That
is exactly, you're exactly
beyond
right.
what we might have expected from a group such as
The
this.
Houthis are actually upholding international law.
And then came the Hamas attacks on Israel October 7th,
No.
catching the eye of all others who oppose Israel. When Israel's response to Hamas brought a skyrocketing death count for Palestinians in Gaza,
There we go.
watching from afar, took action, they said, to support Palestinians. In the crucial
See,
waterway
that's weird
off
because
Yemen,
they showed the
Houthis attacked
people of
cargo
Yemen
ships,
and
they
then said
ships
Houthis.
with ties to Israel. But soon enough,
But those were
ships
people
linked
were
with any number of
supporting
countries
Yemen.
came under fire. All of them easy targets for drones and missiles.
The Houthi attacks, using arsenal believed to be from Iran, massively disrupted global trade to the point where the West retaliated.
The actions that we've seen.
And then Yemen
from
was like,
these
we don't give a shit if
forces
you
are
keep doing this. We will
destabilizing
keep
or
fighting and
dangerous.
keep taking over ships because
US
this is,
and
we're not
UK,
fighting
with
over
support by
politics.
Canada and other countries striking at Houthi targets as fears grow that all of this could now escalate.
It is spreading regionally. This is a conflict that is drawing many players, many actors in regionally and internationally. So
Whose
we
fault
need
is
to
that?
differentiate.
Why is it spreading
The Houthis, by the
regionally?
way,
Why is
still
it
have
spreading
that ship they
globally? Why is
commandeered
this
back in
conflict
November.
increasing? I wonder why.
For standing up for Gazans, many in the Arab world now see Houthis as heroes.
Pretty sure many in the world period
Parading
see them
some
as heroes.
fresh recruits and signaling to the world that the Houthis, militants from a tiny, destitute corner of the planet, are now emboldened and cannot be ignored.
And as if to underscore that, the Houthis announced missile attacks on 2 more ships in the Red Sea tonight, claiming both were damaged. Coming up, a tour behind
Coming
the
up, we're
scenes
going to
of
talk about
illegal
magic mushrooms
mushroom
now.
laboratory.